Is it possible that coronavirus was man-made? And did we have to shut down the whole country because of it? Well, let's dig into it. Most scientists claim that the virus was not man-made. But let's hear what the French scientist and the winner of the Nobel Prize for Medicine, Luc Montagnier, says about that.
Vous êtes arrivé à certaines conclusions.
Alors, nous sommes arrivés à la conclusion qu'effectivement, il y avait eu une manipulation au sujet de ce virus.
C'est-à-dire?
Eh bien, qu'une partie, je ne dis pas le total, n'est-ce pas, mais il y a un modèle qui est évidemment le virus classique, et là c'était un modèle surtout venant de la chauve-souris, mais à ce modèle, on a par-dessus ajouté des séquences notamment du VIH, le virus du sida.
Mais quand vous dites on a ajouté, qui a ajouté?
Ah, moi je ne sais pas.
Et c'est pas naturel, c'est ce que vous voulez dire?
Non, ce n'est pas naturel, c'était un travail de professionnel, un travail de biologiste moléculaire. C'est un travail très minutieux, on peut dire d'horloger, on peut dire au niveau des séquences.
Mais dans quel but?
Dans quel but, ça, ce n'est pas clair. Moi, j'expose, si vous voulez, mon travail, c'est d'exposer les faits, c'est tout. Je n'accuse personne, je ne sais pas qui a fait ça et pourquoi. La possibilité, c'est peut-être que ils ont voulu faire, on ne sait pas, on a voulu faire un vaccin contre le sida. Donc on a pris des petites séquences du virus et on les a installées dans la séquence plus grande du coronavirus.
So now a scientist that has a lot of credibility is telling us that the virus is indeed man-made. How come we don't hear about that from the media? Even on the internet, this is the only copy of this video that contains English translation. Well, according to Mr. Montagnier himself, there are huge pressures for this not to be published. Huge pressure on anybody that is talking about origins of this virus, and all of that is taboo. But who is trying to hide the truth and why? Well, according to President Trump, it's China. On a question, have you seen anything at this point that gives you a high degree of confidence that Wuhan Institute of Virology was the origin of this virus? President Trump responded, yes, I have. So far, no other country accused China of such thing, but it's still disturbing to hear those accusations from the President of the United States. Instead of informing us about pandemic, media is creating panic. And for a while, people were buying toilet paper like crazy. We expected to see a financial crisis of 2020, and we got toilet paper crisis of 2020. Businesses shut down, schools closed, and millions of people out of work. For some of us, everything stopped. And everybody is agreeing that this will have great impact on our economy. So, was there another way? After all, we did what most countries did, but there is one country that decided to take a little bit different approach. Sweden. Shops, schools, gyms, restaurants, bars, all open. No lockdown for Sweden. However, their government did recommend social distancing and did recommend work from home. So let's check out the official numbers for Sweden. Around 72,000 people infected with 5,400 deaths. Mortality rate of about 7.5%, which is much higher compared to the US mortality rate of 4.7%. The pandemic had almost no impact on their economy, but was it really worth it? Well, according to the Swedish chief epidemiologist Anders Tegnell, the number of infected people is actually much higher. In the interview he gave to Trevor Noah, he said that in the Stockholm metro area itself, they have between 20 to 25% people infected. So according to him, just right there, they have around 475,000 people infected. So if we do calculations again, their mortality rate drops to around 1%, way lower than the US. Still, Mr. Tignell says, quote, "I'm not saying that we are successful in all different ways. Our death toll is something that we worry a lot about, and it's very much related to elderly people's home who have proven to be extremely susceptible to this disease." So Sweden failed in one thing. They failed to protect their elderly and risk groups. So would we be able to create a system that is similar to Swedish system, just better protect our elderly and risk groups? And would that mean that our mortality rate would still stay low, but we would be able to protect our economy? Let's check the official numbers for the US now. Official numbers say that in the US so far we have around 2.85 million confirmed cases with around 131,000 deaths, which is about 4.7% mortality rate. Still, some people claim that the numbers are inflated. So how do they actually count COVID-19 deaths? For example, if somebody is already ill, but they also test positive for COVID-19, in case they die, they're counted as COVID-19 death. So are the numbers inflated? Our officials say no. Response coordinator Deborah Burke said, quote, "So those individuals who have underlying condition, but that underlying condition did not cause their acute death when it's actually related to the COVID infection. In fact, it's the opposite." How about the numbers of infected people? Are those numbers inflated? Well, let's see what President Trump has to say about it. "We have the greatest testing program in the world. We developed it over the period of time, and we are up to almost 30 million tests. That means that we will have more cases. If we didn't want to test, or if we didn't test, we wouldn't have cases. But we have cases because we test." That is just brilliant. A lot of people believe that coronavirus is a hoax. Hoax, you say? Let's mention some of the top conspiracy theories.
That is a lot of fake news back there. That's a lot.
Coronavirus is engineered by Bill Gates to reduce human population. 5G signal is creating coronavirus. COVID-19 was created as a biological weapon. The US military imported COVID into China. COVID is a plot by Big Pharma. The virus escaped from a Chinese lab. After all, it doesn't matter if the virus is man-made or not. It doesn't matter where it came from. It's real and it's here. Was there a better way to fight this pandemic? Absolutely. But because our society is deeply divided, we were not ready. What's your perspective on this?